The dates have been set for both Nottingham Forest and Everton on their appeal to the points deduction from the corrupt Premier League. Welcome to your Forest and Everton news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to your latest Forest news. Coming up in today's video, we'll talk you through all the key events that are about to take place for both Nottingham Forest and Everton, and how that's going to impact the Premier League, this corrupt Premier League, where Forest do have 2 stars by their name at the moment. And no, it's not the Premier League paying homage to Forest European glory days. It's for the points deduction, and Everton have 1. But both clubs have appealed, and we're going to get into all of that. Before we do, as always, please take a quick second, hit that like button. Let's get to 402 likes today. I don't know, I'm just plucking numbers out of my head, just like the Premier League are plucking the rules out of theirs. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And can I say a massive thank you to everyone who started the donations yesterday for Wolfie's new PC, because it is being held together by plasters right now. Thank you guys and girls so much for your support. It's going to be a long road. I need to go big on this computer now if we're going to do this properly. So if you would like to donate, even if you've got like a spare quid down the back of your sofa or whatever it is, there's a link where you can donate. And thank you guys so much. Honestly, this channel is nothing without your guys' support. And thank you to everyone who's already donated. Okay, let's jump into this. My voice is a little Sean Dyche-like today, so I do apologise. I'm not taking the mick because they lost 6-0. But just a quick word on that. I've seen a lot of Forest fans getting very excited and very giddy about Everton losing 6-0 and the goal difference being back down to even, basically, between the two clubs. But I'm too long in the tooth with Forest, man. And I just worry about Charity FC rolling in this weekend. We're going to talk about that later on in the week. But how do you feel about Everton's 6-0 thrashing yesterday at the hands of Chelsea? Is it good or bad for Forest? Let me know how you feel in the comments down below. Okay, so we're here for some more PSR news. And honestly, I am sick to death of talking about PSR. Just reinstate Forest points, reinstate Everton's points, and let the football decide who stays up and where teams would finish. Let's be honest, if Forest and Everton had not been hit with any PSR BS this season, then both of us would already be safe and Luton would already be pretty much relegated, which kind of tells you the corruption of the Premier League. It's weird how they've kept Forest and Everton in that relegation fight just to ensure there's some kind of excitement so that they can earn their money down the bottom end of the table. And the new rules are being talked about and implemented. They will still be charging with points off the board, even under the new rules, apparently, is the suggestion currently coming through. But these PSR current rules will still be in place next season while everything's finalized and ratified, etc. But that's for a video down the road. Now, we know that Forest appealed. Their date of appeal has been confirmed as week commencing the 22nd of April, which is next week. It will be held by another independent panel of 3 people. And this in itself, I think, is a bit weird because there has to be, I'm not against the independence of the panel. I think that's the right way. But how can you keep having 3 independent people if you had, person A, B, and C sitting down and hearing a case, and then a week later you have person 1, 2, and 3 sitting down and hearing the same case? The first set of panel will have a different opinion to the second set of panel. The independence of the panel should probably be consistent, in my opinion, and that will give you a consistent outcome. Because you could have people that are sympathetic towards Forest's case, you could have people that are unsympathetic towards Everton's case, and vice versa. So it's inconsistent in itself. Now, Forest believe that they will get 1 point back as a minimum, and that's why they've appealed. They've got a strong belief in this case. And I kind of hope they're right. I think, and when we spoke to Kieran, if you haven't seen that video from when Forest got their points, He felt the same way as well. He thinks it could be, and based on nothing, look, Kieran's a financial expert, an absolute top bloke, but he isn't involved in the process. But his gut feelings have been quite spot on. He feels Forest will get 1, maybe 2 if they're lucky, of the points back. So that's why Forest have appealed it. And then the second thing is everyone keeps asking, well, what if we get hit with more points? It is so unlikely, man. You would need to basically have a solar eclipse being hit by a lunar eclipse, being hit by a blue moon, and being hit by something else for that to happen. But yeah, I know it's Forest. It could happen. But the real question is, when do we find out the answer? Well, what we know for sure is that we expect the answer before the end of the season. And the Premier League are looking to expedite this process to make sure that happens. There's been all this hype in the media about how the season could finish and no one knows who's up, who's down, who's won the league, etc. And that's not what they want. It's not a good look for them. And that in itself shows you corruption, because if these things can be expedited, then the timeframes in the first place are not fit for purpose. If they can be expedited, does that then necessitate that Forest and Everton don't get as long to put their defences together? Things like that really are going under the radar. Why is this expediation okay? Why was the date set as the 24th of May in the first place, or whatever it was? Did they not know when the Premier League season was ending? It's a complete and utter mess and a farce from the Premier League in terms of how they've structured this, all to screw over the likes of Forest and Everton, which is pathetic in my opinion. Now, speaking on Everton, and then I'll bring the two things together, they, as soon as they got hit with their 2-point deduction, they put out a strongly worded message and said they're already putting together their appeal. Now, that did surprise me because I thought that instantly meant that they were appealing. But for once, Everton used some sense and logic, and they waited till the 11th hour to confirm they were appealing. Again, right thing to do, slow the process down, put the pressure back onto the Premier League. And it was confirmed the other day that Everton have now appealed in the 11th hour. And the Premier League have come out and said that although they got till the 24th of May to come up with the answer, again, that process is going to be expedited as well. So we're going to get into a scenario where Forest have their hearing next week, and then probably within a week or two, but basically by May, early May, Forest will get the answer on their appeal. And then Everton's appeal will go through. They'll go in front of their independent panel. And then the Premier League have now said they will definitely have a final answer before the 19th of May, before the final rounds of the games go into place. And that is completely and utterly unacceptable. These processes should have been completed weeks and months ago. Because how is it fair to Forest, Everton, and I'll chuck in Luton, even though they're a scummy, pointless team. How is it fair to any of those teams who will only know for one game the reality of where they stand, what they need, and the type of results they have? Now look at Everton. If, let's just say their appeal, let's say for argument's sake, the panel says, you know what, you were treated too softly, we're actually going to add you a point or two. Okay, let's just say that's the case. They go into their final game. They now know that they need to win. And their final game is at Arsenal. They ain't getting nothing out of that if Arsenal are still in the title race, even though they're bottle jobs, but that's a whole other story. How's that fair? When a couple of weeks ago, they had the likes of Forest, Luton, I think they got Sheffield and a couple of others of those teams in and around them. Their mindset would have been different for those games. And it's the same with Forest. If we knew before the Luton game that we'd been hit with 4 points, would we have, had a better and different approach in that Luton match? Maybe held out for the 1-0. We've got the likes of Sheffield, Burnley coming up as well. Is a draw good enough in those games? Or do we have to go out for the wins? We've got Man City. What do we do there? You know, all these things are because of the stupid PSR rules and the stupid timeframes that they've locked in. I think personally, and state both sets of points, as I said at the start of the video. Let Forest and Everton have their points back and then punish the people who have messed this up, not the fans. What have we done? Why do we have to keep calculating and getting degrees in accountancy and football finance and law and everything else? It's an absolute farce. But we will be knowing where we are come the before the 19th of May. Now the argument is, and I think this is a strong argument, just get it done on the pitch. We got a huge game. I mean, all this going on, and it's basically going to be the corrupt Premier League derby match this weekend as Forest take on Everton. But again, the significance of it is what's going on. What's going on? Do Forest need a draw? Do Everton need a draw? Do Forest need a win? Or can Forest take a loss? We don't know. We don't know the outcome right now. So play each game like we have to win. But get your thoughts in on all of this. Are the Premier League taking the mick? Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't seen the Kieran Maguire video post Forest getting their points, I'll leave it on the end screen for you now. And if you haven't liked the video, hit that like now. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we'll see you later on. Come on, you Reds.